A place SQL subprogram is a named, executable place SQL block. It can exist as an independent object on the database. You generally write subprograms to perform an operation or to process data and return a value. Subprogram parts. A subprogram consists of a specification, spec, and a body. To declare a subprogram, you must provide the specifications, which include the name of the subprogram and parameters. To define a subprogram, you must provide both the specification and the body. You can either declare a subprogram first and define it later in the same block or subprogram, or declare and define it at the same time. Subprogram types. SQL has two types of subprograms, procedures and functions. Typically, you use a procedure to perform an action and a function to compute and return a value. The table in the slide not only shows the differences between anonymous blocks and subprograms, but also highlights the general benefits of subprograms. Anonymous blocks are not persistent database objects. They are compiled every time they are to be executed. They are not stored in the database for reuse. If you want to reuse them, you must rerun the script that creates the anonymous block, which causes recompilation and execution. The slide shows the syntax for creating procedures. In the syntax, procedure_name is the name of the procedure to be created argument. Is the name given to the procedure parameter. Every argument is associated with a mode and data type. You can have any number of arguments separated by commas. Mode of argument. In, default, OUT. In-out. Data type is the data type of the associated parameter. The data type of parameters cannot have explicit size, instead, use %type. Procedure_body is the place SQL block that makes up the code. In addition, the example shows the following. The declarative section of a procedure starts immediately after the procedure declaration, and does not begin with the declare keyword. The procedure declares two variables, department_id and department_name. The procedure uses the implicit cursor attribute or the SQL %rowCount SQL attribute to verify that the row was successfully inserted. A value of 1 should be returned in this case. When you compile this script, you see the script output as shown in the slide. The output shows that a table department has been created and that the procedure add_department is compiled. When a procedure is compiled, an object is created in the database, which can later be invoked. So here we did not execute the procedure yet. The slide shows how to invoke a procedure from an anonymous block. You must include the call to the procedure in the executable section of the anonymous block. Similarly, you can invoke the procedure from any application, such as a Forms application or a Java application. The select statement in the code checks to see whether the row was successfully inserted. The slide shows the syntax for creating a function. In the syntax, function_name is the name of the function to be created argument. Is the name given to the function parameter. Every argument is associated with a mode and data type. You can have any number of arguments separated by a comma. You pass the argument when you invoke the function. Mode is the type of parameter, only in parameters should be declared. Data type is the data type of the associated parameter. Return data type is the data type of the value returned by the function. Function_body is the place SQL block that makes up the function code. The argument list is optional in a function declaration. The difference between a procedure and a function is that a function must return a value to the calling program. Therefore, the syntax contains return_type, which specifies the data type of the value that the function returns. A procedure may return a value via an OUT or in-out parameter. The check_sal function is written to determine whether the salary of a particular employee is greater than or less than the average salary of all employees working in the same department. The function returns true if the salary of the employee is greater than the average salary of the employees in the department. If not, it returns false. The function returns null if a no_data_found exception is thrown. You include the call to the function in the executable section of the anonymous block. The function is invoked as part of a statement. Remember that the check_sal function returns Boolean or null. Thus, the call to the function is included as the conditional expression for the if block. Remember that the function was hard-coded to check the salary of the employee with employee Idaho 205. The code shown in the slide removes that constraint because it is rewritten to accept employee number as a parameter. You can now pass different employee numbers and check for the employee's salary.